What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday evening to everyone. Climate data report here with the Sunday evening update on Idalia for Sunday, August 27th, 2023. Idalia, Tropical Storm Idalia, continues to get stronger. Its pressure now, as of the 4 p.m. Central Time update, is now at 995 millibars. It's at 40 mile per hour winds. Its movement is northeast at 3 miles per hour. Taking a look at the latest forecasted track for Idalia, and you will see that it's pretty much a guarantee. It's going to hit Florida at this point. It's looking like somewhere between Tallahassee and Tampa Bay area is going to be the target track at this point, but we have to watch. We have seen before, we've seen this just in the past few years, where a system will suddenly go a little bit more southeast than expected. It's something we'll have to watch. Let's take a look at the satellite presentation. Here's infrared satellite, and there's no doubt about it. Look at the pressures here. Or look at the convection. You can see why the pressure is dropping, because this convection is really starting to wrap up. It wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing this system, when the hurricane hunters pass through it again, start coming in stronger. Wouldn't surprise me if they find 50 mile per hour winds overnight tonight. And I could see this becoming a hurricane sooner than that 1 a.m. Tuesday time frame. I could see it becoming a hurricane as early as maybe tomorrow evening at some point. Now, it has to deal with a little bit of land here, but it's not going to be too much of a factor. It's relatively flat land in that area, and as you can see here on satellite, it's not going to be land very long. Then it's into the warm bathtub Gulf of Mexico, and as you can see here again, this convection here is really starting to fire up. And in response to that, take a look at the tropical intensity guidance, and you can see here, there's no doubt about it. The vast majority of these now take it up into a Category 1, if not a strong Category 1. Some of these models are now, there's more of them than there were before, now go up into a Category 2. And I suspect we're going to continue to see that to increase, where we will see more models trend towards the Category 2. And ultimately, my personal thinking is, I think we could be looking at a Category 2, either before Florida or when it makes landfall at Florida. And let's take a look at the tropical tracks. You can see the majority of these tracks are just southeast of Tallahassee now. But here's Tampa Bay over here. So it's not going to, at this point, we're not expecting a direct hit for Tampa Bay. I think it's going to be a little bit more northwest of Tampa Bay. But we still have a few days to refine this. So definitely do not let your guard down if you're in Tampa Bay. Do not whatsoever let your guard down in Tallahassee, because Tallahassee at the moment, and on these tropical guidance plots, this is the 18Z version, and you can see here, at the moment, it's not terribly far away from Tallahassee. Then there's another aspect that we have to talk about before we go look at some individual models, and that is the very heavy rainfall. This has been continuing to adjust higher. Anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of rainfall, widespread. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, most of South Carolina, and a vast majority of North Carolina, even 3 to 5 inches of rainfall across portions of southern Virginia as well. So this is something you will want to take serious. Flooding is going to be a big issue in this area, and it'll still be. Remember, if this continues to trend stronger like guidance has been showing, remember, you're not only going to be dealing with flooding in Georgia, you will get wind too. Have no fear. You will get wind too, because whatever's stronger coming into Florida means you'll still have some stronger impacts to deal with upstream, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. And there's some discrepancy. Will this track closer to Jacksonville and try to hug the Atlantic coast? I'll show you that on the models in just a minute, but yes, we're expecting very heavy rainfall. Florida itself, you're looking at wind, power outages, storm surge, coastal flooding, beach erosion, all that stuff. All right, here's the latest GFS run that just came in. Let's backtrack this a little bit. You can see GFS, it's trending stronger. You can see by this time on Tuesday, very early Tuesday morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning when most people are sleeping, it's already probably likely becoming a hurricane at this point. It's showing 991 millibars. We know it's already down to 995. So at that point, in my opinion, it would probably be in the 980s. And take a look here. It just rapidly intensifies. Yes, now you're looking at Tuesday evening. That's 963. And look at this. Here we are overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Now we're getting close to Tallahassee here. And you can see here, this, my friends, is likely a low end on the GFS. A low end category 3 storm. Yes, 958 millibars. That could be a category 3 in the GFS land. And let's take a look here. Look at this. You can see here. I mean, very impressive system here. And you can see it tracks very close to Tallahassee on the GFS. Then as we advance this, look at the rainfall aspect of this. Very heavy rainfall for southern Georgia. The Carolinas get very heavy rainfall. Let's take a look at some GFS rainfall totals, shall we? And look at this. Widespread 4 to 8 inches of rain. Where you're seeing these oranges and yellows pop up, that's isolated 10 plus inch amounts. So yes, this is a very significant system. GFS would have severe impacts for this portion of Florida right here where I'm showing you, right around Tallahassee area. You would get significant impacts. Now let's take a look at the 12Z European, which came in earlier, and this shows you another solution. The European is a bit more southeast, closer to Tampa Bay. Not a direct hit by any means, but it does pass by just to your west. And let's take a look here. Here's the precipitation. You can see it does track just to your west. And look what happens. It does cross over into the Atlantic. Should that happen, it would ride the coast of South Carolina and almost come up to North Carolina, but then start to turn east a bit faster. And should it cross back into the Atlantic like that, we have to wonder, would it be able to re-strengthen any stronger again? It's possible. And then after that, the European, I do have to change the view here. Let's go out to the Western Atlantic view. Look what the European does. This is really interesting. The European takes Franklin, by the way. Here's Franklin. That does get close to Bermuda on the European. But watch what happens with Idalia. Yes, it gets very close to going right over Bermuda. You get very heavy rainfall. Even slows down there briefly. So that on the European, that is kind of a bad scenario. Not as strong for Florida because it would have less time over water, but it would be a worse impact for places like Georgia coast, South Carolina, and even portions of North Carolina, because it would have opportunity to gain some strength again, being back over water. And you can see here, eventually it would just go out into the Atlantic. So there's your two different tracks from two different models. There's a whole bunch of other different models. We're not going to, we could sit here all night and go through individual models because there's that many models nowadays. But the key takeaway here is Idalia is a real threat to Florida. It's trending stronger on the guidance. Right now, I'm confident in saying Idalia probably by tomorrow night. By midnight, we'll just say midnight Tuesday morning. I'm confident it'll be a hurricane. And I'm becoming more confident it's going to be able to get into the Category 2 range. Some sort of a Category 2 by the time it makes landfall. Will it get stronger than that? Too soon to say. There is obviously guidance that now shows it. And let's just keep watching this. I mean, this is bathtub water here in the Gulf. So it could definitely strengthen. And remember, wind shear at this time, it's relatively low. And one more time, here's the current presentation. It's fairly impressive right now. It definitely looks like it has its eyes set to become a hurricane relatively fast, if not faster than forecasted. So we'll have to keep watching the storm. Of course, I'll be tweeting on my Twitter at Climate Data Report, and we'll have another update again tomorrow. If not, 2 updates tomorrow. We might do a morning one and an afternoon update. If you like this content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone who's in the path of Idalia that I just showed you, by all means share this with them and share it with anyone who's interested in weather. Be happy to have them watch my videos and comment down below if you have any questions. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see you all again tomorrow. If you live in Florida, start preparing now.